Go to messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole thought. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer Ford. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper Free. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Throw them boys, we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole fuck. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the crowd, and when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and outdone. You can't do with them steps, them niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole thought. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. And I just made it call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Shalom, Israel. This is another breakdown, you know what I mean, with Officer Kayad one. You understand? Yeah, man, the breakdown where we break down the strongholds that hold down the children of Israel here in Jamaica. Talking about the Benjamites. You understand? Because we know that the people that were brought over here on those slave ships, they are not Africans as you were taught by the white man's education in primary school. They were actually the Hebrew Israelites. You understand? Sold to the white man by the Africans. You understand? So, on this show, on the Breakdown channel on YouTube, seeing is where we break down the strongholds. You know what I mean? That hold us back from coming together as a nation. You understand? So remember, subscribe, share, like. You know the thing, where if you have a question or a comment, feel free to just put it in the chat. See? So we have some interesting stories today. You understand? First, we're going to touch upon the Beryllium robbery. This is the second robbery, I think, in the space of, 2 months? You know what I mean? We're going to touch upon that as well. We have Ghetto Kirk again, at it again. You understand? Basically saying that black people here in Jamaica are just stunts. And he commented on the minimum wage rise. And this is to show you how these heathens are greedy and they are only for themselves. You understand? He's against the minimum wage rise. Basically, is what he's saying. You understand? Of course, Ghetto Kirk is no different from every other Chinese businessman or businesswoman here in Jamaica. Them run some, you know what I mean, wholesale or supermarket. You understand? And he's against the rising of the minimum wage. See? So we're going to touch upon that as well. And we're going to touch upon the parliament situation where Nigel Clark called Mark Golding Master Mark. So we have to touch upon that as well. You know what I mean? So remember, like, share, subscribe. This is the breakdown You understand? Yeah, man. All right. So without further ado, let we just jump into the article that talks about the beryllium robbery. See? And this is a Jamaica Loop News. And it says, 4 guards shot in 23 million beryllium heist in Portmore. It says, Beryllium Limited has confirmed that one of its vehicles and the assigned crew members came under heavy gun attack at Scotiabank's Cookson pen branch in Portmore, St. Catherine on Sunday. In a statement on Sunday evening, the company said the driver of the vehicle and 3 other crew members were all shot and injured in the attack. So, you know what I mean? Everybody got, you know what I mean, caught up on this one. You understand? The company advised that it is cooperating with the police in ongoing investigation of the matter. Our sincere thoughts and prayers are with the crew and their family at this time, said Beryllium. For the safety of our client and our team, Beryllium is currently assessing its operation island-wide, which may result in delay in the delivery of service, it advised. While the company made no mention of it in the statement, an informed source indicate that over 23 million in cash was taken by the attackers on Sunday. All right, we're going to address the $23 million there as well. But, you know what I mean? So crime is a situation here in Jamaica. You know what I mean? A terrible, terrible situation. And now it seems like, you know what I mean, brothers are going to more drastic measures, you know what I mean, to get money. You know what I mean? Where they are going to risk their lives now to get money. You know what I mean? Once upon a time, they would have robbed like a store. Now they are thinking to hit the brinks. You know what I mean? Attack armed security personnel, putting them own life in danger. See? That alone shows you that, you know what I mean, the level of desperation here in Jamaica has risen. You understand? So who is to be blamed for this? Well, you know, them always point the finger back to the garrison where the poor people live. But where did this criminal mentality, where did it all start? We know where it started. It started with these 2 political parties, JLP and PNP. You understand? There was no such thing as gun violence here in Jamaica. See, or on the scale of gang warfare and brazen robbery and them little thing. Before the JLP and the PNP started put guns into the hand of our, you know what I mean, young brothers. See? And we know why they did it. They did it to carry out their own political agenda at the time. In their mind, while giving our brothers M16 and AR-15s, not AR-15s, AK-47s. See? They were trying to, you know what I mean, push forward their political, you know what I mean, stronghold here in Jamaica. They did not see the future impact that this would have on Jamaica. At the time, they were fighting against the opposing party. They wanted to, you know what I mean, gain power here in Jamaica. So what them do? Little ghetto youth in the garrison, poor youths, them give them firearms. You know what I mean? Teaching them a culture of, you know what I mean, warfare and terrorism. Just to carry out their own political agenda. And what that turned into, now we have a crime problem. You understand? So you always have to trace back the tree to the root, you know. You can't just get up every day and say, well, the youth them this and where did they learn it? You know what I mean? With grandfather, father, you know what I mean? And now we inherit this culture as a people. See, saying that crime is a way to, one, deal with our disputes and to solve our financial situation. You understand? Not to mention, we being a people here who are, you know what I mean? We are basically impoverished. You understand? This same political structure, who is basically, you know what I mean, the hands of our oppressor. You know what I mean? You can't go around that. See? what do they do for the people? Nothing but empty promises. Sell out the resources to foreign entities, and we gain none of the benefits. You understand? Even out of slavery, when we were just being emancipated from slavery, what did we get? Did we get lands? No, we never get no land. We never get no, you know what I mean? No 40 acre and a mule. We never get that. We got nothing. We were basically squatters. And right after that, now here comes the political parties to push us in the direction of crime and violence. You understand? Then now you have the IMF and the World Bank, who our leaders, without our consent, you understand, basically went and take loan from the IMF, put the people further in debt, not the oppressors, you know, who rule this government, you know, the people who were already slaves, further in debt. So now the IMF dictates what, you know what I mean, the money can be spent on. You understand? Now they are talking about private prisons. See, the IMF and the World Banks dictate what our money is spent on, you know what I mean? What faction of the government can get a wage increase, you know what I mean? Whether you talk about the minimum wage situation, we're going to touch upon that as well, you understand? And the teacher, them come out and a protest and them little thing there. It is the IMF who dictates whether or not the teacher them get a raise. You understand? And the World Bank. See? It is the IMF who determine whether or not we can sell our resources as opposed to import. See? So the IMF dictate that we should import everything that we need, so we don't export nothing and don't make no money. You understand? So guess what now? You have more and more, you know what I mean, youths now without any other option but to turn in the direction of them frustration. And the direction of them frustration is that same crime and violence that these, you know what I mean, political leaders claim they are trying to fix here in Jamaica. You understand? All right, what we are going to do now, we're going to play a tape, you know what I mean? The tape is not, you know what I mean, a gruesome tape or anything like that, so we're legal for play it. You might have not seen it. If you want to see what I go and do over TikTok, just go over to our YouTube channel, ISUPK Jamaica, or the Breakdown YouTube channel, and you know what I mean, and you can see the what we present on the screen. See? But the visuals are limited on TikTok because we are not able to share the screen like that. See? All right, so we're gonna play the tape right now and just show you what took place during this brazen. It's a brazen robbery. You know what I mean?
Come on, who's first one? Come on, who's first one?
Oh my God. Right.
All right, so you see the robbery, you know what I mean? Basically, the man them turn on some high power weapon, you know what I mean, and some handguns on the beryllium chuck. You understand? And what I have heard though is that it was a licensed firearm holder who was on site who eventually took on the robbers. You understand? Which shows you again that, you know what I mean, our leaders, they should give us the opportunity to own licensed firearm. All right, let me show you something. If people were able to get, you know what I mean, easier access to licensed firearms, you would have less illegal firearms. You understand? Because in order for you to get an illegal firearm, you have to be a criminal. You have to be a link with criminals. Eventually, you have a push in the direction of crime. You understand? If you even think about defending yourself, you know what I mean? Me a sidebar a bit, but you know what I mean? If you even think about defending yourself and you want a firearm for yourself to defend you and your family, you have to go link with criminal. Eventually, you will become a criminal yourself. All right. So, with that being said, all right, we see where the man them basically shoot up the truck and the truck reverse and took away. You know what I mean? Them say all the security officers them got shot. You understand? Initial reports did not mention anything about the $23 million. Well, you know what I mean? My other one informed me that sometimes what the police do is even when no money was robbed or no money was acquired by the robbers, in order to help them solve the crime, and this is just me speculating because at first I did not hear anything about any $23 million. The first story I heard was that the robbers did not get any money. But what the police will do is in order to cause friction between, you know what I mean, the man them behind the crime is to say that, put out in the media that $23 million, $10 million was actually robbed. So that the man them will come off of the ice now, saying when them go home back to whoever them report to, or, you know what I mean, them bridging them, the man them are going to say, want to the 23 million. And them are going to say, no 23 million no rob. When you hear that, they must say, yo, them say $23 million rob on the news. And what that will cause is friction between the gang members, and then them can able to, you know what I mean, arrest them and find out who, because now them are going to start war against them. One another. Don't know if that is the situation. All I know is that, you know what I mean, initially the report said that no money was lost, but now they must say $23 million. And if you read the article, it also said that, you know what I mean, it is not reported that the $23 million was stolen, but it was the Beryllium personnel who eventually said that, you know what I mean, that is not on record, said that $23 million was stolen. You understand? But as I say, what is the cause of all this? People becoming more desperate now, risking their lives to acquire money. You understand? Which means that a man is to the point of, you know what I mean, desperation where he's willing to give up his life. Basically. See? As I say, it is all because of the strains put on us by our incompetent and puppet leaders, see? And the IMF and the World Bank, who, you know what I mean, who don't left nothing for the poor. You know what I mean? And the political parties who give us this alternative of criminal activity to solve disputes and to also solve our financial problems. You understand? Basically introducing us to gang warfare, which we all know about the 80s and the 70s when the JLP and the PMP was fighting this political gang warfare against each other. That is where this kind of crime and this kind of terrorist, you know what I mean, behavior came to the children of Israel here in Jamaica. You understand? So it's all the oppressor, his puppets, you know what I mean, these political leaders who are the fault for this. You know what I mean? So if Beryllium, this company, the security company, wants to blame somebody, they should not blame the poor people in the garrison. They should blame these political parties, you know what I mean, who transform our brothers, you know what I mean, into monsters. See, we're going to jump to a scripture. We're going to jump to the book of Salakia, the book of Zechariah chapter 11, and we're going to start at verse 4, and it says, 1 second. And it says, thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, right? You know what I mean? There's nobody feeding the Most High's flock right now, talking about the children of Israel. You know what I mean? Specifically now, talking about the Benjamites here in Jamaica. You know what I mean? The poor people here in Jamaica are not being fed. You understand? The leaders are not making, you know what I mean, the resources come back to the people, where the people can benefit. You know what I mean? We all know about the resources of Jamaica being sold out to foreigners. You know what I mean? There are beaches here in Jamaica, beautiful beaches that black people here in Jamaica can't access. You know what I mean? Can't just go on those beaches. You understand? And you're born and grow in Jamaica, you can't go on them beach there. You understand? That is how bad it is. See? Let me continue reading verse 5. Whose possessors slay them. You know what I mean? Our leaders slay us. See? This is when them deprive us from, you know what I mean, making a living. You understand? Selling out all the businesses to Ghetto Kirk and his people. You know what I mean? If you all know about Ghetto Kirk, Ghetto Kirk is this Chinese, you know what I mean, descendant. You know what I mean? Probably born in a Jamaica, but his descendants are Chinese, who likes to come on social media and call black people dunce. See? And uneducated, and you know what I mean? And we will show you, we will touch upon that story there next. See? So when you deprive us and give all the resources, all the businesses to the Chinese and all of them people, you're slaying us. You're slaying the poor people. You're slaying the children of Israel here in Jamaica. They may continue reading and hold themselves not guilty. You understand? They don't hold themselves guilty what them do. Remember, Andrew Williams came out and said poverty is no excuse for crime, which means that they know that poverty causes crime, but he's saying that it is not an excuse. You should try and do better. But everybody now go have the mental capabilities to do better. Not everybody have the mental strength to, you know what I mean, resist the temptation of crime. Especially when your system don't marginalize them already. But you are telling them that is not an excuse when you know it is a cause. You continue reading. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And these, you know what I mean, this is basically talking about our oppressor, you know what I mean, talking about the British Royal and them who sold us into slavery. But on a smaller note, you know what I mean, because the scripture is manifold. See, this is talking about our leaders who sell us to the other nations, basically. Give away all the resources that we could benefit from that would prevent our children from turning to crime. See, them sell us and say they are blessed. You know what I mean? They make a deal with the IMF, them become rich and we become poorer. They say they are blessed. You understand? For I am rich. They are rich, but we remain poor. Every time you hear about the economy growing, Zane, you think that would reflect back in your poor communities, but all you see is inflation. All you see is cost of living getting higher, and your wages, you know what I mean, come like it no matter. Your minimum wage is just to bring you to work and bring you back home. See, them become rich and we don't see them. Talk about 5% economic growth, 4% economic growth, and we don't see it. We don't feel it. Because guess what? The truth of the matter is, when Jamaica's economy grow, it has nothing to do with you. It is your hard work and your effort that pumps this economy, but you benefit nothing from it. Same like slavery. This is no different from slavery. Let me continue reading. And their own shepherd pity them not. You understand? And our leaders, our puppet leaders here in Jamaica, the JLP and the PMP and the Christian church. Zane, don't show us no pity. You understand? You know what this robbery is going to cause? More SOEs, more states of emergency, more ZOZOs. You understand? That is what it's going to cause. They are not going to think, well, what is the cause of the crime that we are now seeing? See? Where did it all started? How can we prevent other youths from deciding that this is a viable option for me to get by in life? No. What am I going to do? Put more armed police and soldiers in the communities. You know what I mean? Basically trying to fight fire with fire. You understand? And it now going to solve the problem because the underlying issue is still there. The poverty and the deprivation of, you know what I mean, the ability to make a living. You understand? All right. So, what we are going to do now, we're going to jump over to Ghetto Kirk. Remember again, you know what I mean? You can follow this page on TikTok. This is ISUPK Jamaica, home of the truth. ISUPK and the commanding general, your honor. ISUPK stands for Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is one of our shows, you understand, our podcast called Breakdown. This is where we break down the strongholds that hold down the children of Israel here in Jamaica, the Benjamites. See, talking about from Christianity to politics, to the Rastafariism, to the weed smoking, all of the things that hold us back from, you know what I mean, fulfilling our true potential. You understand? And coming back to the Most High. All right? So what we are going to do now, we are going to jump back over to some videos. See? And we're going to show you what this heathen ghetto Kirk, you know what I mean? He's basically, him not hold nothing back again, you know. At first, when you remember when him come out and him a say, the woman who come to him store and she asks for germs lotion. And him a say, you know what I mean? You see, if you're dunce and you're humble, him will help you. But if you're dunce and hype, him no sorry for you. People was bashing the ISUPK Jamaica when we came out and said that was him disrespecting that woman and calling her dunce and one little style. People, I did a video and people was coming at me as if I was, you know what I mean? I was being, what I call it, what the word I look for? Me I say too much. There was nothing in his statement. But now him now hold nothing back. Him basically I call you dunce to your face. You understand? Him now hold nothing back. Him just a tell you say, you know what I mean, you're uneducated and him true spirit a show. And that is the reason why we implore you that you need to, you know what I mean, seek the counsel of the prophets, you know what I mean, in the ISUPK and the command in general, your honor, because you are going to look on Ghetto Kirk and say, no man, he's just an innocent Chinese man. Look how him talk nice and rare. Then you're going to do that. But you're not going to see behind it. You're not going to see the intention of why he's saying it. He's saying it because he know you're done and him feel confident enough to come out and say it publicly because he know there's no backlash. Him not get no backlash on that. See? And now that he's comfortable, him just blatantly spew out, you know what I mean, the same rhetoric. You understand? Let me play this tape though.
Of course, but do you know what happens when you raise minimum wage?
All right, so this video, somebody commented on one of them videos and they said, you know you could pay more than minimum wage, right? Because Ghetto Kirk, like every other Chinese person here in Jamaica, own a business and them employ poor black people here in Jamaica. So somebody said, you know you could pay the people a little more, right? And this is his response.
Probably not, because Mr. Nigel not explain nothing to nobody for them understand. Him just busy as sound like one student who fail maths and I beg him father not to beat him. And have some big words but nobody no understand. But fret not, I will explain in simple terms. Everybody can understand. There's a balance between employment and minimum wage. Every country have a balance, right? If you increase minimum wage, guess what happened to employment? It go down. If you want to increase employment, guess what? Minimum wage have to go down. So you give and take.
So him basically I say, if him increase minimum wage, employment have to go down. Mean them can't hire more people. So if you tell me say if you increase the minimum wage, you're not gonna need the same help in your store. You know what I mean? The same people for push around the things them and lift and you know what I mean, carry out the order them. You still need the same, you know what I mean, workforce. So this way I say is an excuse I use for, you know what I mean, for not or to go against the minimum wage raising. Minimum wage raising does not take away from the fact that you still need cashiers, you still need the people them for push out the thing them on the trolley. You still need the people them for pack the shelf. You still need the people them run at the back for cut up the meat. You still need the workforce. So what you tell me say no, if you raise minimum wage, you go stop hire people and do the work yourself. We know you're not gonna do that. So you can't cut employment because you need the workforce to carry out your business. You understand? But him gonna do that, him say that so that you feel like say if minimum wage raise, then you can't get a job because that is what them use against you. And we know that what these Chinese do, them all nobody for a long period of time. As soon as you have the work for 3 months, them fire you. Which means that them don't have a problem in getting people who are searching for jobs. We are always looking for jobs. And them know that. Because what? We are unemployed and we need the work. See? So because them know say, them can get employees anytime they want. Them pay you when they want to pay you and pay you when they want to pay you. And the work is so hard in these wholesales and the disrespect and the racism that our brothers and sisters have to face. See? But they know that you are desperate and you need the job because they know that your leaders don't look out for your best interest. But this idiot is saying that, well, if me have to go pay you no more, me have to go take on lesser uno. Then less, una go make less profit then, una go make less money because now una don't have enough work and una have to go lock on the store earlier. And that no make no sense. And we know that the Chinese, they are the manufacturers of the world. See? And when you go on these Chinese websites, the items are so, you know what I mean? They are so cheap. Why? Because China make all the items. And China have access to all the resources that create all the items. So them can sell the items cheap. But when them come here in Jamaica, do they sell them cheap? No. Them sell them cheaper than everybody else. So them can raise the minimum wage. See? Them can raise the minimum wage and still maintain a good enough profit and still be able to take on workers. Them can, but them don't want to because guess what? Them greedy. See? And them don't want to cut you a slice of the cake because in their mind, you are just the slaves who nobody care about. Let me continue playing this.
Whichever side, and each country have to figure out what works for them and what is the correct balance. You think Mr. Mahfood and all them rich man there with them big company there in Jamaica are going to hire a bag of people and keep a bag of people if them raise minimum wage again and again and again?
Another thing what the Chinese do, you know, is them pool together them resource. So if it's resource where they don't get it from China, them pool together them resource and get it in bulk. You understand? So them pay way less than what you would have paid for the items. So them profit margin always higher. See? So them can raise the price them. Slack, yeah, them can raise the minimum wage and still maintain them profit. You understand? It's just excuse to keep on paying you little and nothing, so you're always dependent on the work. You understand? So he's basically, this video is basically him say, yo, him against the raising of minimum wage. So in other words, this Chinese man named Ghetto Kirk would want minimum wage to be as low as possible so that him can remain rich. Which we know that minimum wage is no living wage here in Jamaica. Here in Jamaica, we know minimum wage can't survive pan. But these Chinese, these heathens, they don't care about you and your living. They only care about them and their people. You understand? And that is what we try to get you to understand. See? All right, let me play a little more of this tape and then I jump to another tape.
What do you think are going to happen to the staff then? Staff are going to get cut. People are going to lose them work. And then now, when it
open a hear him tone, you know, in video them upon TikTok, you know, you can just go over in TikTok page and view them and hear this heathen tone of voice, you know. You know what I mean? Him basically, you know, him not hold nothing back, you know. Him tone of voice is so disrespectful. No different from the Chinese woman where I tell you that, you know what I mean? Basically, I tell you, say, if you're not born in Jamaica, you don't have no rights to Jamaica. You hear the tone of these heathens is because they know that there's nobody to defend you. They know that there's no backlash, there's no real penalty if them come out and speak out against the children of Israel. You understand? Because for years they have grown up in Jamaica, learned the accent, and become Jamaican and seeing their people rule over you. See you coming to them to beg them. You understand? To look at work from them. They think them feel like the same Jamaicans like you. They feel like them own Jamaica. You understand? Them feel like them own Jamaica. You don't get to experience Jamaica. You grew up in the garrison. You, for the most part, you move, if you're going to Wales, from your garrison where you grew up in, is from one garrison to the next. Or somewhere down in the country, which is another garrison. You have not experienced the real Jamaica that these heathens and the other nations have experienced, that them see Jamaica as on TV. The beaches, the beauty of Jamaica, all this luxury that the world know Jamaica for. You don't know nothing about that. So your experience here in Jamaica as the descendants of the slaves is different from them. Them have the money in their pocket, can do what them please. And it all come at your expense, your hard work. Meanwhile, you reap none of the benefits and you experience the worst part of Jamaica. Now we'll play a little more and then jump over to the next step.
Comes to international countries, you think the big call center them are going to employ more and more people if minimum wage keep on go up?
And you see the hypocrisy, I'm going to use call center. Overseas call centers pay way more than what they pay here in Jamaica. You understand? Them basically run sweatshops here in Jamaica. The same kind of sweatshops that are run in China where him come from. See? So, when I talk about, they are able to pay us more. But that is his excuse because no, him no want to feel like say want to deserve more. You understand? So him can continue to become rich. But rest assured, them time will come to an end. You understand? That's why we need to keep in tune to our classes. Make sure now learn the Bible from the ISUPK so you know what kind of time we're in. This not gonna last for long. You understand? The most I bring China, Russia, and America into the Third World War. See? And you see after that, these heathens not gonna have them foot on your neck no more. You understand? These are things where you're not learning at the Christian church, where the Bible talk about. You understand? But no, they might puff up them chests and they might go on, they might talk with pride and all them things. But them kingdom will come to an end. China think them are going to be the next ruler of this earth, but rest assured that not going to happen. This world war are going to destroy China, Russia, all the major powers of this earth. You understand? They think that them are going to be the new power. That not going to happen. If them become the new power, you are going to be slaves to the Chinese. That's all you are going to be. You don't have a place in their kingdom, you know. Same way you never have a place in the oppressor's kingdom. You understand? But the Most High have different plans. The Most High got to eradicate them off of the face of this earth, meaning them kingdom. You understand? And your kingdom will come next. You understand? All right. We're going to jump over to another tape with this idiot, Ghetto Kirk. Remember again, like this video, subscribe to this channel. This is ISUPK Jamaica. This is the Breakdown podcast on the Breakdown channel as well. You know what I mean? You want to subscribe to that. You understand? All right. So watch this, you know. So recently the government, them make art trust tuition free. See? So basically them say if you want to learn a trade, you don't have to have no money. You understand? As far as me understand. See? No, this brother named Ghetto Kirk, the same Chinese, you know what I mean? This Moabite. Them call the biblical name for them, for their nation, is Moab or Moabite. See? This Moabite is basically rub it in your face. Never play the tape and make you hear. Hear him if you can't hear.
It free. Free.
So him basically have the article behind him. You can go over to him channel or him page and see the video. Him have the big article behind him in the background. See? Where it says, Art Trust NTA is now free. And he must say, look, it's free. Free. And I'm a mark you with it, you know. Like he must say, education is free. On a dunce people on a need to go back but get it, seeing that it's free. Basically, when I say it's free, go on, it's free. Basically saying that on a dunce. So go on, go get a free education. You understand? So you see when we come out, we don't want nobody to call we racist in a road, boy. Don't want nobody to call we racist. See real racism here. And guess what? We don't have power. No kind of power here to show any kind of racism to them. Them control the things. Them control our leaders. The Edens basically run everything. So we don't want nobody to say when we point out the injustice and the disrespect that is being done to our people that we are racist and we are a hate group. We don't want nobody to come with that. See, hate, yeah, this is real hate. Where a man is in family become rich off a year, you know what I mean, expense, and him still feel the need to disrespect you. I mean, you can imagine being a sore winner. You can know when somebody's a sore loser, you understand it, Like a person lose and them upset. Why are they being a sore winner? Why do they feel the need now for our dunceness, as them call it in our face? When they are winning, they are benefiting, from our dunceness, so-called. When them, Them say we call ourselves dunce. All right, we're dunce, right? Because we weren't properly educated by this wicked system. All right, we give you that. See? So why feel the need to rub it in our face? This is no different from when we were in Egypt, with the Egyptians, them, See? We were no threat to the Egyptians and them still feel the need for, come up against us. And it is the same thing with this wicked system, from the oppressor to the Moabites, which is ghetto curve people, to all these heathens. They are sore winners. We are losing and them still feel the need for disrespect us. That is the reason why we tell you that you need to come back to your culture. You know what I mean? You can't be a Christian in these times, because guess what go on? Christianity, I go tell you to love these heathens. Meanwhile, these heathens are going to continuously disrespect you. Being a Rastafarian, what does that accomplish? You smoke out your brain and you lose sight of reality. You understand? And it's all about love nowadays. Saying you love the heathens while nobody love you. While everybody disrespect you and mock you, and you can't ever see it because you have so much love for them. But we here in the ISUPK, we love no heathen. We only love our own people. You understand? So we are not hate. We are love. We are not a hate group. We love you. You understand? You can imagine we come up against so much backlash from people telling us that we hate. You can imagine a woman telling her man, say, because him only love she, him full of hate towards other woman. Like him a say, yo, me love you and only you. See? She a go say, you're full of hate. You're full of hate. Why you not love? Want to the man the woman? Why you not love femme woman and the woman the over there so? That is why you not tell when we defend, you know what I mean, phone cars, I want to say, we're full of hate. That don't make no sense. Bear in mind, all these heathens have somebody with them leaders that them look to that put their best interests at heart over every other nation. Except you. You don't have leaders who put your best interests at heart. Your leaders sell you out to them. You understand? And that is the problem. See? All right. So what we are going to do now, we are going to jump over to some scriptures and explain this, because the Most High told us this would happen. You understand? Everything that we as the children of Israel suffer from, or every struggle that we face, is in the Bible. You understand? From slavery to every single thing that we experience, the answer to our problem is the Bible. And the Bible is not no white man book. The Bible was written by your foreparents throughout different time frames throughout our history. You understand? Recorded history during specific time frame. You understand? So that when you reach in a situation where you can't find yourself, like no, where you don't even know that you are the children of Israel, you could call back to the Bible and see what mistakes you have made in the past to lead you back to, you know what I mean, where you should be. See? This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 13, and it says, and the Lord shall make thee the head, Salakia, right, and not the tail. So this is where Moses is telling us that if we kept the Most High laws, we would be the head and not the tail. Let me continue reading. And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. What does that mean? What does it mean to be above only and not beneath? It means you will never be dependent on anybody else. You will always be above everybody. You understand? Let me continue reading. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. So the laws that were given to our foreparents, you know what I mean, in the time of Moses, if we had kept these laws, you know, we would have never been in a position right now where we are hoping that the government is, you know what I mean, the government of our oppressor. Because this is not even our government. See? We would not be in a position where we are hoping that these oppressors' government, see, would raise the minimum wage so we can get a better living. We would have already been the ruling class of this earth. You understand? Let me jump to another scripture. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse, let's start at verse 40, verse 43, and it says, this is now the curse. On the other hand now, if we broke the Most High laws and did not do what him say we should do, keep him laws, saying, the strangers that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That is the opposite of what we just read a while ago, you know. So instead of you being above always and not beneath, now the stranger, like Ghetto Kirk, you understand? Get above you very high and you come down very low. See? And thou shalt come down very low. Verse 44, he shall lend to thee and thou shalt not lend to him. You understand? We know that our government is in debt to the Chinese. And not only the Chinese, the oppressor from the World Bank and the IMF, to Britain, to every other heathen under the sun. Every heathen under the sun we are in debt to. See? He shall lend to thee and thou shalt not lend to him. What that mean? That means you are in debt. You understand? That is what we are seeing right now. We are in debt to these heathens and them. And imagine Ghetto Kirk, even though him born in Jamaica, to Chinese parents. Zane, don't think that is your brother. Zane, him look over Feme homeland where Feme foreparents come from over China and see how great China has become. And how much money China lend to Jamaica, lend to you. China now lend the money to him, you know. Even though him benefit from it, you know. China now lend no money to him, them are lend it to you. You are the ones paying back his homeland where him come from. Him feel puffed up, him see him realize that you are not his equal. You understand? You are not his equal. All right, somebody said, Bay Charles says, so the Caucasian or Chinese kept the laws of God to be in the position where you have to understand these laws were not given to them. It is us breaking the law that the Most High now, you know what I mean, basically left us in their hand because guess what go on? We choose to follow them by not keeping the Most High laws. So the Most High say, all right, since you want to follow them, go on to them. And what them do? Them oppress us. Them never get the Most High laws. Whether them keep it or not, the Most High don't care about that. All the Most High care about is his children keeping his laws. See him like a father. A father don't care about whether or not his neighbor's kids listen to him. Him care about whether his children listen to him. You understand? That is the relationship between us and the Most High. So they did not do anything to be on top of us. It's we that did not do something that we should have done. You understand? Yeah, man. So excellent question. See, let me continue reading. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. This is the opposite of the previous scripture when we read, where it said, thou shalt be the head and not the tail. Well, this is letting you know that if you break the Most High laws and turn away, you're gone off in a Rastafariism, Christianity, and all of them things, they're following heathen culture. Zane, because all they are heathen culture. This is not the culture of your foreparents. Zane, then now you become the tail and not the head. You have to be the one following the other nations. Any nation God that you serve, you become a second-class citizen to them, or you become slave to that nation. You understand? That is what we need to comprehend as a people. If you serve white Jesus in that Christian church, and bear in mind, Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible. See, if you serve that white Jesus, you're making yourself a second-class citizen to white people. If you serve Rastafariism and worship Haile Selassie, you're making yourself second-class citizen to the Ethiopians, to the Africans. You understand? I mean, the Ethiopians don't even consider Selassie God, but look what you do. You turn this man where them kill him because he was a tyrant to them. Them kill him, them own brother, them kill him. But you turn them brother in a God. It's a low state that, brethren. Yo, you can't, words can't explain that. The Ethiopians did not even value him. But you turn him into your almighty. When you have a real almighty, you have a true God, the real God who created this earth, who have a covenant with you and your foreparents, but you rather worship a rejected emperor. That no make no sense, brethren. That is why we destroy. Zane. So, as it says, he shall be the head and thou shall be the tail. And that is that is our relationship, we and these heathens. We are the tail. We look to them for a loan. We have to go to them place of employment to get a job. You understand? Because he's the head and we are the tail. See? Remember again to like, share, subscribe. You understand? On YouTube, follow up on Facebook. If you have a question, you can just comment a question. You know what I mean? Or even a statement. All right. So we're going to jump to the next article now. Massa Mark. This is a nationwide radio, jm.com news. See? It says, Massa Mark comment spark opposition walk out in parliament. All right. So read the article. An argument over the finance minister's reference to opposition leader Mark Golded as Massa Mark sparks a walkout of the House by opposition members. I'm going to play this audio.
By the way, Madam Speaker, as an aside, I saw a clip yesterday when the opposition leader referred to labor rights, Madam Speaker, or those who identify with a particular party known as the Jamaican Labour Party. And I can't say the words, but he said, beep fools, beep fools. Call them beep fools. Madam Speaker, that never sound like Marky G to me. That sound like Massa Mark.
All right, we're gonna play the actual visuals. You understand?
It seems to hurt them, Madam Speaker. It hurt them. And it hurt Massa Mark too. It burned him.
On a point of order, Madam Speaker. No, on a point of order, Madam Speaker. On a point of order, Madam Speaker. On a point of order, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I believe that the Minister of Finance, in terms of, shut him out and let me talk. I know you're I know you.
So, you know what I mean? I think that is Angela Brown Burke. I think that's her name. Not quite sure. But she eventually in defense of Massa Mark, because Nigel Clark basically called Mark Golding Massa as reference to slave master, because of course Mark Golding is a descendant of our oppressor, the slave master. See? And we're no business about them politicians, you know. All of them I see them in terms of, you know what I mean, none of them care about our people. But the way this woman, this parliamentarian came up and, you know what I mean, she was so in defense of that statement. You understand? It goes to show you how much we love the oppressor. And eventually, it warranted a walkout, them all walk out of the parliament, fix over the statement. You know what I mean? And that sums up, you know what I mean, basically, how we here in Jamaica feel about when our oppressor is disrespected. You know what I mean? I mean, we disrespect each other every day. But are you telling us that our oppressor cannot be disrespected? He can't be called what his foreparents were? Massa. You understand? Isn't he a descendant of our slave masters? That is just facts. But of course, black people here in Jamaica, we are not having it. You know why? Because we suffer from, you know what I mean, a syndrome called Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? Where the oppressor who have enslaved us and tortured us and raped our grandmothers, you know what I mean, and abuse our people, rob, spoil, and abuse our people. We love him even more than each other. And we will not have it. That is what you call a house slave. You understand? Those are house slaves. And all of them are the same, you know. Because Massa depend each side of the political spectrum, you know. You have, you know what I mean, oppressors pitney on the JLP, and you have oppressors pitney on, you know what I mean, the PMP. But this politician, Nigel Clark, he used the opportunity to draw the race card, and lo and behold, you know what I mean, masters, slaves are you know what I mean, insulted. You know what I mean, because master was insulted. See, we will jump to a scripture. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17 and verse 15, and it says, "Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee." You know what I mean? So these heathens who have been ruling over us, we call them prime minister this. You know what I mean? We call them, you know, member of parliament or MP that who are rule over we. They were not supposed to rule over us. The only people that should rule over us is from our people. You understand? And that is why we tell you that Commanding General Your Honor and the ISUPK is your only true government. These parliamentarians and these oppressors' children that rule Jamaica, they are not legitimate rulers over you. You are just you're like slaves to them. You are just them slaves. They can't be a king because they are not from your brethren. Let me read it again. "One from among thy brethren shall thou set king over thee." What is brethren? Your brethren is your bloodline, your family. You know what I mean? We who were brought over here in slavery, we are from the same family. See? So these politicians, they are not legitimate leaders or kings over you. You understand? And certainly not none of these oppressors' children. Master Mark is, you know what I mean, what he really is. Master Mark is the oppressor's child, and him can't lead you. You can't look to him for savior. You can't look to the oppressor for savior. You understand? Let me continue reading. "Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee." You understand? So from Alexander Bustamante, Norman Manley, and all of them, they should have never been set over you. See, you think your vote, you know what I mean, counts. You think when you go to that polling booth, you vote and, you know what I mean, you set them over you for your best interest. No, you're just setting the slave master over you. You understand? So it said, "Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee. These Edens must not be set over you, which is not thy brother." You understand? And with that, we have a clip it right there. So remember, follow this page. This is, you know what I mean, ISUPK Jamaica. The show is called The Breakdown. You understand? This is the Breakdown podcast. You understand? You know the thing already, where we break down the strongholds that hold back the Benjamites. You know what I mean? The tribe of Benjamin here in Jamaica, from the lost sheep of the house of Israel, from coming back to their true nationality. So we break down the strongholds like the politics. You understand? The religions like Rastafariism, seeing, and Christianity. So we have to break that down. We have to show you in the Bible that, look, the Bible does not say that you should follow these, you know what I mean, these way of life. See? And with that, we have to close out. So leave your comments, like, share, subscribe. This is ISUPK Jamaica and the Commanding General Your Honor. Shalom.
Yeah, those are messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, get on his ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent, I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan, I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course, get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that, I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick, I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer for I took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shane Shaw. Put them out of service, keep them tools like it's all free. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed yeah, bitch, me whole court. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this lord. Told they bitches either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our court. Yeah, I just got off the cloud. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas. Get your knife and your fart. They ain't locked in with the counting when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Beat them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. You can't do with them steps. Them niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of